First and foremost, I want to give all the praises, glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you. I came out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. I just came across this this short, and
party is over.
Come
if
on,
we have
man.
to come here again, somebody.
See, right when I do the video, now all of a sudden the short wants to disappear. So I came across this short.
Most common thing is
right, dealing with Dagestan people, right? Because they're big in the UFC now. They're some of the top wrestlers, and they're tough, and they're giving Jake a hard time in the UFC. But one thing you notice is you don't see their women, right? And this guy's gonna explain when he went over there how they dealt with the women, okay, to some extent.
Where's the women at? Like I've seen. Where's the women at? Most common thing is like, where's the women at? Like I've seen women. You just don't point a camera at them.
But they explain to you when you go here, you cannot film the women.
Yeah, in a way. Listen, we don't let another man look at our wife. I'm not gonna bash on that culture because I feel like that's silly. A woman can do whatever they want to do. That's just how they feel. But I've seen women. I've seen some beautiful women too while I was in Dagestan. So
yeah, because they have a more ancient way about them. Right, this Jake you see here, this Jake, this black guy, he has a westernized culture, okay, and this is why your women are completely out of order. They're a bunch of whores. They're disrespectful because there's no order amongst the Western culture. Okay, they have some form of order, which is better, His mind, women can do what they want. Well, this is why that's why the black community is in the position that it's in now. You understand? They have a better way, which is closer to the ancient way. Okay? First of all, I wanted to get this. I want to get what happened to Dinah, right? Because the reason that happened to Dinah is because she was outside. She was supposed to be inside, man. You know what I'm saying? She was supposed to be inside. Let's read what the scriptures say about these women, man. This is Ecclesiastes. See, now the computer wants to act up, right? Or the phone wants to act up. This is Ecclesiastes 25 in verse. I'll start at 23. Okay. Matter of fact, no, I'll start at 24. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all died. Going back to Eve. Okay? Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. Gad abroad means to go around where she wants to go, do what she wants to do. She ain't supposed to have that type of liberty. Okay? Because what happens is, as the scriptures say, they'll abuse themselves through over much liberty. If you give a woman too much liberty, she's going to abuse herself because they don't have correct judgment. Okay? This is why they're not supposed to have all that liberty. You're supposed to be in control. Okay? But not in the Western society. That's why he said, I don't want to bash them, like I feel like women should do what they want. That's how they feel. Because he doesn't understand anything. He doesn't understand women. He doesn't understand the order of the Heavenly Father. He doesn't understand his own culture, which is the Israelite culture. Okay? And how things would be so much better if he were to move in that way. If they were to implement these things. Okay, it says, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. Because first of all, a woman is supposed to follow after your vibration. She's supposed to be following after what you're doing. And she's supposed to be, her purpose is supposed to be to serve you and to add on to what you're doing. Not to do her own thing. See, this place is completely out of order. And especially amongst you black people, man. Your mindset is fried when it comes to these women. Completely fried. Completely backwards. And this is why the women don't respect you too. You think that you giving them all this liberty makes them respect you? No. It does the exact opposite. Okay? It leads them to disrespect you. Okay? That's why he's like, oh, I don't want to bash them. I wanted to video some of the women. You could see his face like he was disappointed. You know? It's just a woman. The sooner you understand that it's just a woman, the sooner you could get this, you know, and you could understand what a woman is and what she was created for. Then you can get that weak nature out of you, man. You know, Jake has a real weak nature about him when it comes to these women, man. This is Ecclesiastes 26. So like it. I'll start at verse. I'll start at verse 8. It says, a drunken woman and a gatter abroad causeth great anger. Right. So a woman who's drunken and a woman who's going out doing what the hell she wants to do and going wherever the hell she wants. You got women that have vehicles in the West. You know, when you go down to certain Eastern countries, they don't allow women to have a car. For what reason? For what reason? To increase wickedness in the earth? Because that's all they're going to use it for. Okay. To commit adultery, to do, folly. Okay, and she will not cover her own shame. Okay, well look like I said, let's go back to the black community. Okay, look at the black woman, a perfect example of someone that does not cover shame. Okay, twerking all over the place, twerking on grave sites, twerking on people's cars, all complete monsters. No control. But yeah, you give them all the liberty in the world. You do more than give them liberty. You fucking pedestalize them. You jakes. You pedestalize them. Basically, you worship them, if you want to be real. Okay? It says the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through over much liberty. See, so she can abuse herself through over much liberty, and that's why you're supposed to keep them in straitly, because this society teaches them to be shameless. Okay, so they're shameless by default because of how the society is. So you're supposed to keep them in straitly. You're supposed to make sure that you have an eye over, watch her, and make sure she's not able to spread herself, man. And one of the main ways they spread themselves now is social media. So this is why them Dagestanian men, they said, listen, man, don't be filming our women, man. Okay, don't film my woman. Okay, don't put my woman on no fucking camera. Okay, it says, watch over an impudent eye and marvel not if she trespass against thee. Right, because that their nature is to go through to the left. Their nature is to be wicked. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler. Let's go back here. Let's go back. Okay, it says she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he hath found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. Okay, so this is what it is. And this is what these women do today. And this is why they have multiple bodies. Okay, because you gave them all that fucking liberty, man. So you get a wife, and look at his face. He looks sad that he wasn't able to film these women. These Jakes are weird, man. Fucking weird, man. Right? But they got a shirt called 8, man. You gotta be kidding me. But ultimately, if you had the mindset that these Dagestan people had towards their women, your woman wouldn't be as degenerate as they are now. Okay?
Common thing is like, where's the women at? Like, I've seen women. You just don't point a camera at them.
But they explain.
And look, they got dresses on. And none of them are in fucking mini skirts. You know, none of them are really, they got long dresses. Okay, they're not twerking.
Don't point a camera at them.
But they explain to you when you go here, you cannot film the women.
Yeah, in a way. Listen, we don't let another man look at our wife. I'm not going to bash on that culture because I feel like that's silly. A woman can do whatever they want to do. That's just how they feel. But I've seen some beautiful women too while I was in Dagestan. So.
Yeah, but he looks like he's disappointed. But whatever. It is what it is, man. You Jakes, man. Your way is not working. Your way is not. Well, let's look. Well, I don't even know what to type in. Let's type in. I don't know, man. I don't know. Type in black woman. I don't know. Hood woman. Let's type in hood woman. You can just type in black woman. Oh, because you typed in hood woman. That's why. Okay, let's type in black woman. Let's see what we see, man. In America, I'm just gonna look. I don't know what I'm gonna see here. I'm just doing this off the rip to see what the. Let's see what we can see.
Spain is nothing like us.
Welcome to a day in the life of a girl who quit her job to live a soft life in Europe, except it has been far from a soft life. It's been a hard knock life. So starting with my friends leaving after spending my first week with me in Spain and realizing I'm all alone halfway across the world for the next year, to trying to find an apartment and realizing that my Duolingo streak was not going to cut it for a year.
And all these women that you're seeing in this video, they're fucking single, man. They're single, they're lonely, they're older. They don't have no man. They don't know what their purpose is. They're running around the earth, going to, what she said, she went to Spain and it was a failure. You know, because she didn't have a man of wisdom to guide her, to tell her, listen, man, don't go to Spain. Because first of all, if you should do some research before you go to a place. You should do ample research to know where you're going. If you're going to live somewhere, think you're going to live a soft life. Okay? But like I said, these are all single women. Okay? And doing what they want to do, gadding abroad. Okay, you know they have countless men in their life. Countless men they've slept with. Countless. They probably don't even know the number. See, this is what your culture produces. The culture that you're following.
To trying to find
These
an
fucking
apartment and realizing
losers, a bunch of losers. This is a group of loser women. Okay, waste gal.
that my Duolingo streak was not going to cut it for a year in Spain.
Hola, ya me puedes solicitar.
So also realizing that just like the South in America, the South of Spain is quite racist. And then let's talk about how this taxi driver refused to...
No, you gotta be... No, there's racism in other parts of Europe?
Pick me and my friends up once he saw that we were black and Asian. And then me and my roommate found the perfect apartment, almost signed a contract until we turned in our passport photos and the landlord realized we were black and changed her mind, which is a story for another day. But despite all the challenges, I already quit my job and I only got a one-way ticket to Spain, so we're just gonna pray it gets better and make the best of it. Tomorrow I start my new job here, so stay tuned for more.
Stupid, and then she's defiling the Asian woman, because the Asian women they somewhat they make good wives, usually. But this, look at this, man. Look at this. Taking shots gathering abroad, taking shots, single, sleeping. She'll sleep with any Spanish Edomite that comes up to her that looks halfway decent, or he doesn't even have to look decent. They'll sleep with him, to say, oh yeah, I had a boyfriend in Spain, or I had multiple. Really, they're going to be dealing with multiple men, because those men ain't going to take them serious. So this is just an example. This is the first video I clicked on. This is nothing this is not something I planned. This is just the first video.
As a black woman in America, it's always going to be harder to get to the corporate level of things.
You got a good example of that?
Let me see. I got one. Okay, I'm a pre-law student, so just thinking about like my future, I have to go against men, mainly white males, or even our own black male community attacking us like, oh, you're too high up in a position, or you're making this much money. So like those are curveballs that black women face in America.
So those curveballs keep you from what?
Whether it's promotions, getting a husband, being happy later on in life, because it's kind of like placed on you because you doing well for yourself and not the other person. So yeah.
Well, my sister's actually a lawyer. She's married, got 3 beautiful daughters, and she's very successful and entrepreneurial.
Yeah, but the majority of them are fucking single, man. This is the point. They're focused on their career. They're not focused on what matters, which is what? Which is rearing a family, getting a husband, rearing a family, and building, helping to build that legacy. You know, they're not doing that. Okay, they're not doing that. All right. So they don't know their purpose, man. Okay. And then look at it, and then they're morbidly obese. They're completely out of order. All right. So this is what your culture produces, and I'm not like I said, I didn't plan to I'm gonna go to this video, I'm gonna go to that video. No, I just went to a random video, which the scriptures say that this is not your rest. You know, it will destroy you even with a sword destruction, man. All right. And that's what happened with you Jakes. You Jakes have been destroyed. This is Micah 2 and verse 10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. And you Jakes have become polluted by the Western mindset. Right? That's why none of these women, they know their purpose. None of these women said it. They're all single, man. They're single. They're lost. They're out of order. They're rude. They're disrespectful. You know? Nothing's feminine or dainty about them. You see? They disrespect their men. This is what's going on. This is what you get. This is the first 2 videos I watched, man. He talking about they single and this and that. It's hard to get it bad, and I'm trying to get a career and blah, 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 blah. Out of order. Don't know what their purpose is. Lost souls. You go to Dagestan, and women, guess what? Their main thing is to deal with their family. Their main thing is to serve their husband. That's their main thing, and to build their family, right? And I saying around the world things are perfect because you know they got the Western influence, but it's better than Babylon. Okay, it's better than Canada. It's better than UK. It's better than these beast system countries, man.
It's an incident where I was in a grocery store and the person who was helping me was also African, and they literally cut me off, left me there to tend to a white person. Honestly, it was nothing like what I expected. I feel like everybody should know that, because I feel like, at least for Americans, you think that everywhere in Africa gives you this whole motherland vibe. And I'm not saying that it didn't give me a motherland vibe, but it definitely didn't hit the black experience that I was looking for. In fact, I didn't see any African clothing while I was in South Africa.
So my heart gets kind of torn, because especially when people slide into your DMs and they're like, I want to visit Africa for the first time. There's so many beautiful places that are very touristy, like Cape Town, like Kenya. Yeah. But the thing is, us as African Americans, you have to be called home spiritually to the West.
I agree.
That's the thing. So even though infrastructurally,
it's like, where are the most black expat communities, the largest black expat communities? Because clearly, if there's a lot of people there, then there's a reset.
Right.
Are y'all ready for the list? Mexico City, Mérida, Mexico.
Huh?
Mérida. Let me say in gringo. Mérida, Mexico.
Mérida, Mexico.
That is true, man. Look at that bald-headed chick. She's through.
Wired for divorce. Many of them come into your life just to divorce you. True that. Most American women live on fast food. Checkers, KFC, Popeye chicken. And
they're losers. What did I tell you, man? The women from the West, they're losers. That's what he's telling you. He said what? They live off fast food. They get in your life to divorce you. They live off fast food. They're losers, man. That's what they get.
American women are wired for divorce. Many of them come into your life just to divorce you. True that. Most American women live on fast food. Checkers, KFC, Popeye chicken, and McDonald's.
Make it work.
I do not want to go through having to buy food every day outside. This is one of the reasons why I would prefer to get married to an African woman, because African women, they have been trained to make food in the house.
I know this sounds harsh, but I know women that will jump in and out of marriage, been married 3 or 4 times, and at least he said Popeye's chicken. I've seen some of y'all plates pouring corn out the can. He should have said, a lot of you American men go to work 12 hours a day and come home and eat a tomato sandwich.
Damn, through. So anyways, this is what your culture breeds. You let the women do what the fuck they want. And this is what your culture breeds. Complete madness. So anyways, so the Dagestan people, they have you know, they're closer to the old path, as the scriptures say. So anyways, with that, I'll say shalom.